The last few days in the world of AI have been absolutely insane. From new models to new tools to new technologies that are replacing jobs all over the world. Is your job going to be one of them? Let's take a look. Meta and Microsoft have teamed up and have made an announcement about the next generation of Llama. Llama 2 has now been released. It's the next generation of open source large language model. It's free to use for research and commercial use, which is a big change from the first version of Llama. Llama 2 was trained on 40% more data than Llama 1 and has double the context length. There are 3 different models for Llama 2. The 7 billion, 13 billion, and 70 billion. The architecture has been pre-trained on 2 trillion tokens, and the context length has doubled from Llama 1 to 4,096. And as you can see with these benchmarks here, Llama 2 crushes the others. Okay, so let's play around with Llama 2 a little bit. What is the most recent date of your training? My training was last updated on March 15th, 2023. Trained on a wide range of topics including history, science, technology, literature, and much more. Okay. Who is your creator? I was created by a team of researchers at Meta AI. Okay. Let's see what you can do. Write a poem about a cute dog that gets into trouble with the cats next door. Okay, here we go. Max was a curious little pup with fur so soft and eyes so bright. He loved to play outside all day, chasing butterflies and barking loud. Doesn't rhyme very good there. But when he got too close to the cat's yard, they would hiss and spit and make him scared. Max knew he shouldn't go there, but he couldn't resist their hair. One day while Max was exploring, he found a ball of yarn and started cowering. The cats saw this and thought it was funny, so they decided to join in and get silly. Together Max and the cats played, chasing each other round and round all day. They laughed and barked. They laughed and barked and purred and meowed. And before long, they were the best of friends, no doubt. So the rhyming really sucks. Let's try it again. Let's see if we can tell it. Rewrite the poem so that it rhymes. Alright, let's see if this is better. Max was a curious little pup with fur so soft as silk and eyes so bright. He loved to play outside all day, chasing butterflies in delight. That was better. But when he went too close to the cat's yard, they would hiss and spit and make him scarred. Max knew he shouldn't go there, but he just couldn't resist their hair. One sunny day while Max explored, he found a ball of yarn and barked some more. The cats saw this and thought it was funny, so they joined in and played with glee. Together Max and the cats chased round, barking and meowing without a sound. They laughed and purred and had good times, and before long they were best of friends in rhymes, even though they got into trouble sometimes. Max and his feline pals knew how to climb, so if you're looking for a furry tale, just ask for Max and his cat crew to sail. So that was much better now that we specifically told it to rhyme. Play around with some math here. What is the Pythagorean The Pythagorean theorem is a fundamental concept in geometry that describes the relationship between the lengths and sides of a right triangle. Very good. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay. Use this with random side variables. There we go. Say we have a right triangle with sides of lengths 3, 4, and 5. Use the Pythagorean theorem. Okay. A is 3, B is 4, and then it shows it all stepped out. A squared plus B squared equals C squared, and they do the substitutions. 3 squared plus 4 squared equals C squared. 9 plus 16 equals C squared. 25 equals C squared, so the length of the hypotenuse is 5. That's very good. Let's see, show every detailed step for the solution. Oh, it even explains each one. Write a fictional resume for a fictional person. Create characteristics, hobbies, and skills, and put them on the resume. See what we got. Okay, Alex Chen. Even makes an email address and a phone number. Highly motivated and creative individual with a passion for problem solving and helping others. Skilled in communication, leadership, and teamwork. Proficient in Microsoft Office and Google Suite. Enjoys hiking, playing guitar, and trying new recipes in the kitchen. Education, BS in Computer Science, Stanford University in 2018. Skills. So this is very cool. Let's see, how old is Alex? Okay, 25 years old, because it states he graduated from college in 2018. Okay, that makes sense. What math are we using? Okay, it remembers that. Pythagorean theorem. What were the variables what variables did we use in our test? Okay, what are our set variables? What are the values? So some of the other news that we have is Chat-GPT has made some updates. Now, if you are a Plus member and you go to GPT-4, you'll notice that it currently has a cap of 50 messages every 3 hours, whereas previously it was 25 messages every 3 hours. So they've doubled the amount of messages you can use with GPT-4. So that's great. Another new thing is in the beta features, they now have custom instructions. It's a new feature that lets you share anything you like with Chat-GPT to consider across its responses. So let's turn that on. Custom instructions. Lets you share anything you like Chat-GPT to consider in its response. Well, basically, whatever we put in here is going to influence any of the chats that we have with Chat-GPT. Where are you based? What do you do for work? What are your hobbies and interests? What subjects can you talk about for hours? What are some goals you have? Instead of having to tell it every single time with every single chat session, this will store this across all chats. If you are a programmer, you probably already know that Chat-GPT, and there's a lot of other ones out there as well, can handle code. A lot of them are starting off with Python, but I'm sure that's going to be expanding to other programming languages. So what does that do? Are you a developer? Are you going to get replaced with Chat-GPT or some other programming tool? Write a Python script to calculate the first 100 prime numbers and print them to the screen. There's a Python script that calculates and prints the first 100 prime numbers. And there we go. Would you like me to run this script for you? Yes. And now it's running. This should work. Here they are. So it wrote the Python script and it's running the Python script. How easy was that? You don't have to know a single line of code. I'm a programmer, I'm a developer, but this can be done even without me having to spend any time on the code. Even though this is a very simple script that wouldn't take that long to write up, but for me not to have to think about it at all, instead of taking 5 or 10 minutes of writing this, I just tell Chat-GPT to do it, and it did it. And it can even handle complex things. There's still some limits on it, but it's getting better and better and better. So it's not going to be long before AI can create any program that we want to, even complex libraries, complex code, and I'm sure it won't be long before you can write any type of language of code. So what does that do? Are you a developer? Are you a coder? Does that threaten your job? Things are getting really crazy here. AI is starting to take over everything. How about this? Are you a website developer or designer? Do you think your job's safe? Check this out. Wix is now about to release AI-generated full-blown websites. Watch some of this. You can just go into the Wix AI and it just asks you what you're building a website for. Watch this video. I'm going to build a website for Onyx Online Fitness. Ask for a few more details after you give the basics. That's it. Look at that. Pull some images, generate site, and blammo. Whole site is built. Got some animations on there, nice graphics, professional quality. You can change the theme through the AI. Something edgier. I mean, that's really good looking. Make all kinds of customizations. Look how professional that looks. So like I said, are you a web developer? Even a good web designer, this would take probably a few hours at least, minimum, even if you use some template. And this is only taking, what, about 2 or 3 minutes? And most of that time is just telling it what you want. How is this going to disrupt website development? AI is getting amazing, and it's only going to keep growing. It's going to go into all kinds of fields. All right, how about this? The union representing about 160,000 Hollywood actors officially went on strike after failing to reach a deal with the biggest studios. If you think about it, though, you don't really need actors much anymore. And they're probably going to end up having to start selling the rights to their likeness, because then you're going to have AI generating it. Have you seen the latest Indiana Jones movie? They did a pretty good job of showing Harrison Ford when he was younger with CGI. Wasn't perfect. It can probably be done a little bit better. Of course, that movie was actually done several years ago when they actually created that. But now you could probably do it flawlessly and for really cheap. So why would you pay an actor millions and millions of dollars when you can just create everything from AI? And so you could have the same actor forever at whatever age you want. You could generate them as a child, you could generate them as a teen, as an adult, as an older person, and you could do that anytime forever. So it's going to put actors out of business. Same thing with writers. You've got all these text models where you can write a story, you can write a book, you can write a movie. It isn't going to be long at all before you can just, with one prompt, have it write a script for a movie, direct the movie, put in AI characters to the whole thing, and make the entire video all AI generated for virtually zero costs. Think about that. That puts actors out of business, writers out of business, producers out of business, directors out of business. All those professions are not necessarily needed in the near future. Things are getting crazy. Meta is also introducing Chameleon, a more efficient, state-of-the-art generative model for text and images. It's still not available to use yet, but you can see some of the things that they do. Toughest things for AI models to do is to create good-looking hands. This one looks pretty good. Also creating text on the images, and that looks pretty good too. Another interesting thing with this one is you can do the text-guided image editing. So here can be the initial input. This would be like an image to image. Well, what would she look like as a bearded man? So it edits the image and turns her into a man with a beard. Here's another one. Put on a pair of sunglasses. Sunglasses are added. She should look 100 years old. Now she looks older. Apply face paint. Got the face paint on there. So that is pretty impressive. It also can recognize the images and identify what is in the images. So for example, imagine a dog carrying a stick. What is the dog carrying? Model generation says a stick. Describe the given image in a very fine detail. In this image, there is a dog holding a stick in its mouth. There is grass on the surface. In the background of the image, there are trees. So it identified everything in this image. You can do object to image. Given a text description of the bounding box segmentation of the image, generate an image. So you can specify placement in the image and specify what you want in that area. So there's a lot more control that you have there. InvokeAI has got a new experimental feature in their latest version, which is nodes. If you're familiar with using Comfy UI for your Stable Diffusion, it's a node-based UI, and it is fantastic. It's actually becoming my favorite one. Comfy UI is really powerful, and now we're starting to see some node-based editing in the UI for InvokeAI, so that's going to be exciting. It's already available in experimental form, so it's not quite as clean, obviously, as Comfy UI, but it's very powerful and it can only get better. So those are just a few of the things that have been going on the last few days. Like I said, it's been crazy. Everything is ramping up so fast. Just the world is changing from AI. If you like this video, you like the kind of content I put on here, please like, share, and subscribe. Put some comments down below. Are you scared of your job? Are you scared of losing it to AI? Put your comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.